One man, one mission, to rid the world of chronic anxiety once and for all. The anxiety guy, Dennis Simsek, shares his personal transformation from living a life filled with overwhelming worry to becoming a full-fledged positivity machine, a leading authority in generalized anxiety. Dennis gets to the truth of your mental health challenges and sets you on a path to transforming each and every area of your life. Here he is, the one and only, the anxiety guy.
Warriors, welcome to episode number 80. I'm Dennis Simsek. Today's the day. Today, I dive deep into the spiritual aspect of my anxiety recovery. So you, my friends, are incredibly lucky. This is the first time ever that someone has connected anxiety recovery with opening their third eye and gaining access to their pineal gland. Now, this is important because there's a lot of debate going around the world. There's a lot of talk as far as what kind of experiences you have when you open your third eye. What do you feel? What kind of intuition do you gain? What kind of things happen in your life? And I want to come from a place of my own experience today, okay? Think about it like the eye of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge when it comes to opening your third eye. Okay, think about it like when you're walking throughout your days, you can see that there's two different types of people. One type of person is very narrow-minded, sees things through their egotistical mind, very closed off. Then there's another type of person that is open-minded, that sees things more flexibly, sees things cognitively more flexibly, sees things behaviorally with more flexibility. So these types of people are awakened, whereas the other types of people are living through darkness and never question the systems that are in place in the world. So this is the access point towards self-discovery, and it is said to be a communicator with your higher self. We always talk about your true voice. With the podcast, the videos, the End the Anxiety program, we talk about your true voice. We talk about gaining access to your higher self. We talk about awakening. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about my experience with third eye opening. And at the end of this podcast episode, I'm going to reveal the very things you need to do to start gaining this huge, huge advantage in this world. Where is it? The third eye is located directly between the eyes, an inch above the eyebrows. Now, the third eye is actually aligned with the pineal gland, which resides in the center of the brain, which is very, very interesting. The gland is responsible for secreting hormones which regulate our waking and sleeping patterns. Now, does everyone have a third eye? Yes, everybody has a third eye. Each and every person has a third eye, but unfortunately, not everyone is aware of it or even uses it. Okay, let's get that clear. But psychics and people who are spiritually enlightened walk around with their third eye open, whereas pessimists, negative thinkers, skeptics, and those that live with fear and constant anxiety walk around with their third eye completely shut. It's like living in darkness. Now, my anxiety recovery had a lot to do with my third eye being awakened and my pineal gland being activated. Here's a couple of things that started to happen in my life, okay? First thing, I started to see the big picture as far as how the world works, how our bodies work, and how we are all connected at some level. We go through this world always disconnected from people, disconnected from nature, disconnected from our true self. We are our to-do lists, for example. Our to-do lists are more important than nature. Our to-do lists are more important than our emotional, mental, physical, spiritual health. With most people, these people are closed off. Their third eye is not awakened. I started to understand my purpose in life better. As soon as this started to happen to me, I started to understand what my purpose was in this world. What the heck was I doing? Was I just getting up, eating my cereal, having my shower, getting in my car, going to work 9 to 5, come home, kiss the dog, pet the boy, or the other way around, kiss the wife, turn the TV on, go to sleep, do the same thing again the next day? That's the way I lived my life prior to my third eye awakening, prior to my anxiety recovery. And as I saw the bigger picture, I realized, oh my goodness, there's more to this scenario than just me experiencing anxiety or panic attacks. There's more to how my body works. And I started to connect the dots. The dots started to get connected. I started to say, there is a pattern and a structure behind my misbehaving. There's a pattern and structure behind my negativity, my pessimism. This is important to understand because a lot of people in today's world allow the information to come into their world. They react a certain way. They get emotionally attached either with anger or anxiety to something that happens, and they never consciously step in. It's like a ship, okay? The ship is in the ocean, and then there's the captain. And if the captain never gives orders to the sailors who are in fact rowing the ship, that ship is going to hit the rocks really, really hard because they don't know where to go. And the sailors are your subconscious mind. The captain is your conscious mind. So when you start to understand how your mind works, how your body works, how in fact everything in this world is connected, you are in fact opening your third eye. You are becoming awakened once and for all. You are leaving the darkness because most people are living in darkness. Then I started to question every system out there, from the school system to the medical system to the work system. I just had a conversation with someone, in fact, that was so ignorant and so caught up in their egotistical mind that I had to basically speak my truth once and for all with that person. I talked about cancer. I talked about raw diets. And this person didn't want to have anything to do with the conversation. And then we talked about the system a little bit. We talked about high school. We talked about college, university. We talked about entrepreneurship a bit. We talked about raising a family. We talked about retirement. This person was so narrow-minded that they said, you know what? The system is in place because the governments in this world and the higher-ups are trying to take care of us. This has worked for centuries, he says. Well, this person's closed off. This person's living in darkness because they only see the world in one way. They only see the school system in one way. They only see the medical system in one way and the work system. This can mean that this person is living in darkness and their third eye is not awakened. They have anxiety. This person has fear. I felt it right away with my sensory acuity. I said, my goodness, this person here doesn't look too, grateful. This person doesn't look very grateful for their lives. Not a very positive person, not an open-minded person. You can't change somebody that doesn't want to change, first and foremost. So I gave him my truth. He gave me his truth. And we agreed to disagree. And that's totally fine. But I also realized on this journey, I was in fact seeing things before they manifested in my life, as well as close family members. Things started to happen to me. Experiences started to pop up in my life that never happened before. I was like, wow. Wow. Did that actually happen? It's like this deja vu feeling where you know something's going to happen. It happens and you say, I told you so. I went to the horse races. I guessed 4 horses come straight up, right on the mark. And people start to go, are you a psychic? Are you this? Are you that? What kind of intuition do you have? You seem to be a little deeper. It seems like nothing is bugging you ever. It seems like you're a very neutral and calm person. I said, yes, I am. There are many reasons for this, many factors that I'm going to talk about later on that contributed to this. But 4 horse races back to back. You guys know how much I love horse races if you follow me on Instagram. But, I mean, that's not luck. A lot of people say it's luck. A lot of people say it's coincidence. That's energy. That's energy is what that is. That's not luck. So I started to see things before they happened, and I continue to see that. I realized that I was searching for the meaning of life during my anxiety days, my purpose. But answers never appeared until I stopped searching and I became silent. I became silent. And when I became silent in my room, in my living room, on the bench as I looked at the waves and I closed my eyes, I started to gain access to what my true purpose in life was and what the meaning of life really was. Things started to become clearer in my life step by step, but it didn't happen by me searching for it, going to try to find it. It had to come to me. It came to me, okay? Now, with anxiety, living in fear, your third eye is closed and you create internal limits. Let's understand this because with fear and anxiety, you have many, many limits to your life. You're closed off. You have no mindfulness. You have no consciousness. People say something and you react to it. You're constantly looking for reassurance. You're looking for that next quick pill or quick solution to your problems. You are living in darkness, okay? So let's understand that with anxiety and fear, your third eye is closed and you become extremely internal. Rarely do you ever really experience. You don't really experience life. You just are so internal and so caught up in your what-if thinkings, your gnats, your negative automatic thoughts. You believe in cognitive fusion, where a thought is, in fact, real. You take it at face value. You take your emotions at face value. You say, I have an emotion and therefore I must act on that emotion. No, 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 no. Emotions are there as a guide. They are a signal for you to say that there's something else that needs your attention. Something's missing. Something is missing in your life. You haven't gained the lesson. And until you gain the lesson, anxiety will continue. Then, with my third eye awakened, I started hearing my true inner voice and less of my critical voice. And my system began to create synchronicity. Synchronicity, my thought patterns, my behaviors, my words, my emotions, my friends, synchronicity as in my internal processes, but also what was happening in my external world. Those experiences were a lot deeper. My identity started to become molded. I went from an identity that was full of fear and cautiousness and anxiety to an identity that was free. I experienced freedom. I experienced silence. I experienced all sorts of beautiful things in my life that I never experienced before. Then I realized that through my third eye opening, it was okay to give up control. Because with anxiety, what started to happen with me was I was trying to control everything. My own life. I was trying to control my health. I was trying to control my relationships. I was trying to control my career. I was trying to control my family. I controlled my distant family. I controlled everything. Everything I was trying to control. I gained the green light or the permission by my awakened state to say, you don't have to control everything anymore. You can give up control. When you give up control, you start to harness the true power of your third eye awakening. This is the truth, because you start to believe that giving up control is, in fact, safety, whereas controlling things led to safety beforehand. But that's your ego mind. That's your subconscious talking. That's not your true voice. That's not your higher self. Your higher self gives up control. Your higher self allows things to happen to you rather than you going out and forcing things in the world. We have to question everything today. We must question everything today. If we do not question things, if we do not question our thoughts, our own belief systems, if we do not question our upbringing, our teachers, our parents, if we do not question our environments and question why we're in fact driving that crappy car that we are, then we are living in darkness. I also realized that as I meditated daily, there was no such thing as coincidences or accidents in my life. I began meditating for hours upon hours. I realized that there are no accidents or coincidences in this world. A lot of people say, oh, that's a coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidences when your third eye is awakened. That's the incredible thing. But a lot of people say, oh, today in today's world, it's so common to do something that you're proud of. Your superconscious mind kicks in. You do something. You gain some intuition. You partake in some kind of action that you're so proud of. And then all of a sudden, your inner self, your critical voice comes in and says, that wasn't you. That wasn't you. And then you start to believe it. And that's bullcrap. And you start to go, oh, I got lucky. I was lucky there. That never happens to me. You start to play yourself down. Listen to the words that you express on a daily basis. The best thing you can do is never leave a environment or a circumstance with a negative final word. Never say, I got lucky. If you say it, you would replace it in your mind and say, no, luck had nothing to do with this. I worked hard for this. I believed in this. Never leave a scenario or situation where you have finished the sentence in a negative tone. Very, very important. Now, how do you begin opening your third eye? How do you become awakened once and for all? First things first, awareness and education helps to open your third eye, particularly in metaphysics and spirituality. You have to become open to it. You have to become a student before you become a teacher. You have to become a student after you become a sufferer. A lot of sufferers out there say, I'm suffering. Guess what? Today my day was crap. Today I had tons of anxiety, honey. Today, I got really lucky. This one thing happened to me. You're a sufferer. You're not a student. You must become a student. You must begin educating yourself in spirituality if you want these circumstances to happen in your life, because this is your true self. The system doesn't want you to open your third eye, first and foremost. The system is made up so that you go through this world blind. Okay, maybe not blind as far as your two eyes, you can see things, but your reality is shaped because of your third eye being blind. That's the truth. Now, meditation is one of the best ways to train yourself to open your third eye. Begin meditating starting today. Begin taking time for silence. Begin taking time to give back to your spiritual side, because it's not just about thoughts, beliefs. It's about gaining a higher access to the part of you that wants you to gain that access. It's asking for you to reach out and become more aware and become more enlightened and become more mindful. You cannot do it until you've silenced your mind, until you've silenced yourself, until you've stopped and you've found a particular area that you say, this is my meditation area. I don't eat here. I don't watch TV here. I don't read books here. This and this area, this corner of the room is my meditation area. It is one of the best ways to train yourself to open your third eye. Then yoga and mindfulness and certain trances will bring you to that place as well. Also, certain crystals and sound vibrations can help as well. These are all things that will begin showing you that, my God, these instances start to happen. I start to see things a little bit clearer. The colors in the world become a little bit more vibrant. The food I'm eating, I'm more conscious of. Very, very important aspects to open your third eye. Also, vitamin D through sunlight, exercise, putting your feet in the soil and sand is called earthing, which in fact gets you reconnected with nature. Get reconnected with nature and watch the amazing things that start to happen in your life. This is what happened to me during my anxiety recovery and after, as I became a teacher. Okay, these are things I never had access to, I never thought about, because they were always in the distant realm. They weren't in my world. I don't remember the last time I walked in the woods or went on a hike or something like that, because that wasn't me. I didn't believe that was me. I didn't have time for that. And because I didn't have time for that, I lived in darkness. But this is the most important part of everything right here, okay? Opening your third eye, gaining access to your higher state, tap water, and certain fluoride toothpaste, my friends, mouthwashes, pesticides, antibiotics, meat and dairy, artificial sweeteners, GMO foods, certain skincare products can all contribute to keeping your third eye closed. Let's understand this because we're programmed to see the commercial, okay? And then it gains a storage in our subconscious mind. We go to the store and all of a sudden we see that very product on the shelf and we say, oh yeah, I know that. And since familiarity is something that is preached in today's world and something that we follow on a daily basis, because it's familiar, we buy that product. It has fluoride in it. It's got all sorts of crap in it. It's keeping you from gaining access to your higher self, keeping you from gaining anxiety recovery and getting to a deeper place in your life. Familiarity in your mind equals safety, but the truth is unfamiliarity is going to gain access to your higher self. It's going to gain access. You're going to basically change and mold yourself completely when you go through this list again, when you listen to this podcast episode again, download it, go over it a number of times, understand how my recovery was shaped around opening my third eye and becoming conscious of those things, those products, those environments I put myself in, those thoughts, those words that I was saying that was keeping me closed off, that was keeping me in the darkness. Very, very important. I love you so very much. Thank you so much for your support, everybody on Facebook. If you haven't joined the Facebook page, get on there now. If you suffer from anxiety, if you're a sufferer, or if you're a student, if you're a teacher, it doesn't matter. The Anxiety Guy is about options. Make sure to head over to anxietyexit.com, pick up the End the Anxiety program, become enlightened, become in touch with your higher self starting today. Eliminate anxiety from your life because you can. You can and you deserve it. Love you so much. You are more than anxiety. Bye, guys.
Thanks for being an important part of the Anxiety Guy podcast community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive rate and review. If you're searching for further support on your road to recovery from anxiety, head over to anxietyexit.com and take part in the powerful End the Anxiety program based around the CBT model. If you're searching for a more one-on-one approach, you can sign up now for personal coaching sessions with Dennis via Skype. Remember, you are more than anxiety. See you in the next episode.